Are we live already? Are we on time for once?
Uh,
Holy shit. Look at that.
well, we had to, we had two levels of perfection in this episode to talk about. Two immaculate androids. We couldn't let them down by being late because they would not appreciate, because they would be like to the second as well.
It's true.
Although I kind of wish we'd done like a gag where I could clone, like, I could have pre recorded half of this conversation as one of us and then you have to interact with it and they have like two people. That would have been great.
Yeah. I want to
Complicated
put
though.
in some jokes too, but meh. What are you gonna do? So how you doing, Samuel?
Uh, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. I haven't had the best day, not the worst day, obviously, just
Mm,
haven't had the best day. But I'm
mm,
looking forward to this one in particular. This is one of those ones that I knew going in was going to be good, which actually is
yes.
probably a bad thing because your expectations are raised, and so that, yeah, I think that's worth putting as part of this equation because expectations can really screw you or improve something. I think it's fair to say.
This is true. This is true.
I always refer back to my watching Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I heard it was amazing. I watched it, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And therefore I didn't get the proper reaction. I should have gone in knowing nothing. Whereas Spider Man 1, I knew nothing, walked out thinking, damn, this is excellent. I mean, it's also an excellent film, but like I had no expectations, so I was able to enjoy it more, I think, on its own levels. For what it was
True.
offering.
True. Yes.
I really need to go back and watch Guardians 1. I think it's been enough time to not.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while, actually. You're right.
What do you think of number 2, though?
Trying to remember specifically.
God Dad. God Planet Dad.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember not liking it as much.
Yeah, it's not bad, but
I
it's not.
think the fact I couldn't remember what it was about was a good indication of that.
It's not bad, but it's not as good. And
Yeah.
it's weird that it takes like 75% on one planet, which is obviously him. It's like it's weirdly focused. The first one was a grand adventure. The second one's like this one little story. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Treximus Prime Production says hello, Samuel, and hello, Stuart. But I don't know who that Stuart is because it's spelt wrong. Stew.
Ah,
Oh, that's a good way to get on my bad side.
Stewie. Just
It's
don't call him Stewie.
Stuart. It's the correct way to spell Stuart.
The only thing worse
But
is Stewie.
yeah, that's true. Depends on the context, though. But yeah, no, it's okay. Treximus Prime. I like your
And
name.
our good friend said something as well.
Our good friend. We have a good friend. Yes,
Yeah.
Mark Lawrence. Out at Anime Expo Day 2, still doing my part, checking in and hitting like double the Spiner, double the droid. Well, he's not a droid. Well, yes, I guess he's an android. But
Uh,
when I hear droid, I think of R2D2. You know, droid. I don't know.
I'm gonna share this right now, though, Stuart. We're gonna be nice and
You do
efficient on
that.
this thing. So I'll let you vamp and talk about dem super chats.
Super chats. What are they? Oh yeah, those are those things that help us with the channel and help you guys get your voice heard. You can comment, question, anything comes up in a separate window. Plus, everybody else can see it because it's highlighted in a specific color depending on the amount. One thing you got to know though, YouTube takes 30% off the top. So one of the best ways to make sure we get more money, if you want the money to go to us, is to use the PayPal information, which is down in the description. There's also a bunch of really cool stuff down there as well, such as the Teespring store and our Eagle Moss with our Eagle Moss discount. So you can get some cool stuff for yourself and save yourself some money on a few things and help out the channel that way as well. It's all very helpful. Also, hitting like is very important for liking the channel or for helping the channel, as is subscribing and clicking the notification icon. So if you guys can do that, if you haven't already, please do so. That'd be great. But yeah, super chats during these lives are fun because it spices up our excitement level, gets us, pumped that we're getting some support, and also get your words out there because the chat's the chat. It's fine. We got a few of our mods here today, but generally it goes by pretty quick, and we miss a lot of stuff because we're talking. So a good way to make sure that you get your voice heard is to super chats. So. Now that all that's out of the way, we'll just sit here and wait for Samuel and make it very awkward when he comes back. I think that's a very good idea. I guess not. Maybe dead air is not a good thing usually. But yeah, so And hello, Dark Lord. Hello, Red Palace, Eric, Ian, Matthew, Super Coops, Dan23, Vile Mike. Hello, everyone. Yes, everybody hit the like button. It's very important. It's simple. It's easy to do. Anyone can do it. Just hit the like button. And if you can't super chat, don't feel bad. Like I said, check out any of the links down below. There's lots of cool stuff. Or just share the video around. Just spread the Trekyards goodness. If there's a ship episode of Trekyards you really like, copy the link, share it on Facebook. Just share the content. It's a good way to help out. So, but yes, today we're going to be talking about TNG Season 1, Episode 13, Datalore. Dun, dun. Joshua says he loves these reviews. Well, thank you. We love doing them. Most days. Some days are kind of like, bah, don't feel like doing it today, but we usually get energized just during the course of it. So, Dystopian Guy says, hey, Trekyards. Hello. Hello, Trek Reviewer as well. Glad to see you guys back here. UK is made up of England, Wales, Scotland, and what? Northern Ireland countries have countries. And the UK is, yeah, the UK is just, it's all one country over there.
I mean, it's not. What? Why am I? This is a weird thing to get into. What?
Because Dan23 said the UK is made up of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland countries have countries. It's all just one big. It's England. It's all England over there. Stuart, did you watch TNG every new episode back when season 1 came out, or caught the reruns at the time? I did watch them when they came out. I was downstairs in the sitting room with my brothers.
How old were you?
I'm trying to think here. Hold on. It's 87, so
87.
I was 87 years old.
He de-ages. But we'll meet up in age at one point. We'll both be 40 at the same time. It'll be really confusing.
Yeah, I would have been 13, so.
Okay.
Impressionable age.
So your hormones were kicking in as you were seeing Beverly being all seductive. You're like, well,
Yes, I remember I liked Deanna Troy's bus line. That was something I enjoyed watching.
Hello, Red Palace. He says hi to us both.
Yes. I already said hello to him, but you missed out on all that because you're too good to listen to me vamp, which is fine.
I can just be more. I just find I can be more focused.
Well, yeah, it's hard to type when you got somebody in your ear.
Matthew DeFrieda says, have y'all done all the ships in the canon Star Trek, meaning non-fan ships? No. But most of the big ones.
Yeah, we haven't done all of them. There's still a few we want to do, and of course, the ones we want to revisit and do better and all that.
There's all the side one-off ones that you guys won't watch, except a couple of you, and that's a-okay. I'm excited to look at a few of them, like the Night Ship from Voyager. There's some really fun like one-offs that are really good. Yeah. But you might not tune in for them. But I certainly would want to watch it if I was a fan. So yay.
Joshua Priscilla, I've been upgraded to visual storyteller on the Trekyards Facebook page. It's an honor and a privilege. LOL.
Congratulations.
Sweet. And Redneck level 22 puts in $2.
Thank you.
And says your commentary will make this episode bearable. And then sick face. I don't know. This is one of the better episodes from season 1, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Introduces a recurring character. You get to see some Brent Spiner acting chops.
Steals the show.
Yeah.
Well,
there are a few moments that are like, ugh, like some really bad moments in this one though.
Doesn't this one make you appreciate or wish that they actually used lore more than like 4 times?
No. I think you can overuse lore.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's only used. I mean, wasn't he this? There's one other episode. Yeah, there's one where he meets Soong, which is pretty cool, and then there's the Borg too, so there's only in 4.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. I mean, you said recurring. I mean, that's like ultra special guest. I mean, considering how good Brent's acting is, I'm surprised. I mean, I think if this had been Enterprise, he could have been an entire season arc. You know, like he understands the ship fully because he'd done the computer. He knows the people because they're that could be really fun, but 10, 20 years too early.
Yeah.
But yes, guys, do super chat. Let us know your thoughts, theories, comments, all the awesome things as we start talking about this. So yeah, what's your overall thoughts, impressions, full spoiler, but brief synopsis, thoughts of Datalore?
Very fun episode. I do love the doppelganger episodes, whether it's like two Kirks or two Rikers or whatever. It's always great to see a different side of everybody's personality, whether it be a mirror universe episode or not, or just transporter accident or whatever. It's really cool. So even merging of people like Tuvix, that's a great episode as well.
Yeah.
You get to see different aspects of their characters that they don't really let shine, very often. So this is a really fun one for me. Really enjoyed it. Definitely one of the top maybe 5 of season 1. I'd have to take a look at all of the titles again to really say that, but it's definitely one that I love rewatching.
Well, that's why I'm kind of excited to go at the end of our review to actually go back and listen to all of our review scores and then say, Stuart, without having any memory of the previous 22 weeks, here is our actual definitive review order. And you'll be like, hot damn. So I'm excited to see if that top 5 holds up. Although you obviously could cheat and just say 9.5, which would be cheating, but we'll get there in the end. Don't forget about that. My overall thoughts, I think it's really good. There's not much I don't like about it. But I'm sort of trying to find stuff because I think the pacing is a little bit odd. But there's only minor, like 2 minor beats about it being odd, but they're fully, because it's only 45 minutes. There's a constraint there. I think the music is both great and not good because it's overbearing, as often it is. But like the Lord music sound effect is really cool. I like the tune, but it's too much. It's too full on. It's a little bit too villain. Like you can tell he's gonna be a villain pretty early on. So I think the music's a little bit overbearing. It doesn't, like, there's one moment in the end where Wesley says something and the music's like, and you're like, oh, I guess this is meant to be a big moment because the music's telling me, even though the acting is just wooden and simple. You know what I mean? So I think the music lets it down a bit, even though the riff of Lore is really cool. It's just, does it make sense?
I never even noticed that, to be fair, when I watched it.
That's fair.
But yeah. I just want to say a special shout out to Reg Clinton Brown, who showed up. Hey, Reg, how's it going? Nice to see you.
And Tim Theo says, wow, you guys are actually live. I thought it was Facebook alerts playing games again. Yeah, we're live at 5/10.
We're live at 5 Eastern Standard Time.
9 times out of 10. We're very predictable.
A couple of times a week. Sometimes it's an hour early, whatever.
Very rarely.
Weekends are kind of
I mean, if you just look at the channel every day at this time, you'll either bump into us or not. I mean, you know what I mean? Really, seriously. So yeah, let's swap from the thumbnail to premiere and start at the start.
We are starting at the start. They are heading out toward the remote Omicron Theta star system where Data was found. And Picard says, although we don't have our next assignment yet, I have decided to visit Data's home planet in the hopes of unraveling the mystery of some of his beginnings. So there you go. Just bored out in the middle of nowhere. Thought, why not? We're just going to check this out.
I have an instant problem with this start, as I think you're going to be able to pick out straight away. So 26 years of being a thing, Data's never once thought about going back or gone back? Because he's like, it's not fully like, but it's clear he's never been there before after he left. And they play it as like, I've decided to finally go and try. And it's like, really? Data never? That's ludicrous. Completely unbelievable to me. It just...
Well, they do say it's far out. And, the Triple E was the one that picked him up.
Yeah,
and probably a long haul back.
Like,
and then
hire a ship. I mean...
Yeah, but...
He's a curious man. His entire life. I mean, 26 years, and he starts from, like, an adult. He could have gone... If you had amnesia but knew where you were found, wouldn't you go back within the first year? If you could, I mean,
I'd be afraid. I'd be frightened. Something bad happened.
Well, that's fair. I wish they'd said specifically a bit more sensible, whereby Picard had said, and because of the Galaxy classes, the most advanced sensors in the fleet, we're going to try and do a scan just in case this new technology is, give us that. Would have been better. So that's one of my 2 problems with this episode is that's a dumb wrapper. We skip it really quickly, but it's just not believable.
Yeah. Super Coops puts in 2 pounds. Best episode of season 1. Too much Wesley, though. Yeah, we'll talk about Wesley. I have issues with Leslie in this episode as well.
Okay, I think there's a fine balance here. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Eugene puts in 1,000 rubles. Second time I watched this episode, I've already learned English, and it was the first time I've understood that Data and Lore are not simple names, but very telling names. Oh, indeed. Yes.
Oh, wow. Cool. And your English is impeccable. Thank you for your continuous support, man. Appreciate it. Joshua says, Trekyards mission briefings are the best, but I really dig these reviews. Click the like button. Thank you. Yeah, we're really enjoying them too. I mean, I think we offer at least our perspective, not necessarily a fresh perspective, but our perspective. I think, yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yes. Wow, season 1 is so dated, says Mr. Captain.
I think it holds up. I mean, the only thing you can say is that the non-primary sets look a bit cheaper.
Yeah, and you know what? You get used to watching the later seasons with the high colors and stuff. But once, like, we've been rewatching this now.
Yep.
And I'm already just sucked in. I don't even notice. Everything looks fine to me.
Yep.
You know, you get it works. I don't think it's very dated actually at all. You just you know what's coming later, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you know that it gets better. So if you're in that mindset when you're watching it, you're like,
like,
but you know,
like if this was in widescreen and the VFX were a bit better done, I don't think you'd have as much. I think the mental problem comes from a few aspects, but if it was widescreen, that'd help. I think a lot mentally to take away that it's dated. I feel, you know.
Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, so we walk in on Data trying to sneeze.
Well, hold on a second.
We do not walk in on Data. There's no sneezing happening in this episode. Ignore me, please.
Well, I got one more note before the Data sneezing thing.
Okay.
They're like wondering where Data is. Oh, he might want to be alone. You know, this might be a bigger moment for him.
He wants to be alone. He's asked to be alone.
Yes, this might be a bigger moment for him than we thought. Meanwhile, he's just trying to sneeze because he's just doing his daily thing. You know.
It's a random start. They didn't quite know how to start it, so they start it away. It's just something. I guess though they probably justify never finding Lore by saying no one ever went there because it's so easy to find. Just make it no one ever went there. That makes more sense, I guess. Yeah.
Well, that being said, there used to be a colony there. Yes. They found Data.
Yes.
And when they do the soil analysis, they're like, there's nothing alive in the soil. I give it, it would have been rich farmland like 20 to 30 years ago. And Data's like, oh, I was discovered 26 years ago. It's like, okay, well, there's a mystery there as to what the hell happened to the rich farmland in the colony.
Yeah.
So it's surprising that the Tripoli showed up, said, oh, look, a thing, let's leave and not check it out again. So you're right that them not going back in 26 years is very, very, very odd.
Because Picard actively says, it's a mystery about the disappearance of the colony. It's like in TOS, that'd be like, one of our colonies fully disappeared and everyone died. Oh my god, let's deal with it. TNG, they died. So, what's on the holodeck now? They threw in a bit of information they didn't need to. Like it would have been, I forgot, obviously you forget some things you go back. I was convinced for like a minute that there was still a colony on this planet, and as they were getting to the star system, the entity had just killed them, and they said, oh my god, they've been killed like 2 months ago. Oh my god. So that happens in a different episode, and they actually stay in a cave, like. So I was convinced that was what happened, because it seemed so silly that they'd never gone back. La la la.
Yeah, but then there would be more answers as to why Data was found, and because there'd be people to talk to that are at the colony as to why he was
well, like
there.
I said, I forgot the different steps.
Yeah.
So now, Stuart, was I right the first time? Is there a sneeze scene?
I think there is. Yes. There's an attempted sneeze scene, to be more accurate.
I mean, Stuart, as a human, we do sneeze, but could you reenact the Data sneeze?
Really? You're putting me on the spot? While I'm doing that, why don't you check PayPal, because Ian said he sent to PayPal earlier. I can't seem to.
Yeah. I saw it earlier. Yeah.
So it's like a shoo. Yeah, I think anybody with an intelligence level above, like, a small child can imitate a sneeze by just putting more emphasis into the motions. It's not that hard. It's like Yoda being 900 years old, being super intelligent and a Jedi, and still not being able to mimic the speech patterns of people around him. It's kind of out of character a little bit. It's kind of dumb because anybody with a brain can like rearrange things to make it sound better.
Although, to be fair, Data is a miracle of invention, right? A marvel of modern technology. It's amazing. And so, Soong invented both a emotion chip, but also Lore's ability to do emotions, or at least fake them, because he didn't have the emotion chip because they had to put in him later. So there's different levels. So my assumption then is that actually Data has got like blocks in his program that stops him just from mimicking, as because mimicry is not necessarily understanding, but you could just mimic. Yeah. So what do you think?
Well, mimicking is different than actually like feeling something. I get it, but to imitate a sneeze, he understands obviously how a sneeze works. He understands why a sneeze occurs. He understands all the things that go on in the body during a sneeze. He's seen people sneeze.
Yeah.
So to do the, it's just pathetic. It's just like put your back into it, like achoo, and make it loud, and then it's set. At least it's imitating what, unless he's actually generally trying to make his system sneeze. But then he should have some pepper or something and be like,
yeah.
That would have worked a little bit better, but
yeah, like he wouldn't, or same thing, wouldn't have been even funnier if rather than this, Wesley comes in and you see like a little Bunsen burner, like a science one, and he's doing some granules and you don't know what it is, and he says, "Oh, Wesley, what's that? I'm making android pepper." What? In the old days, there was a trick that people would do to each other to sneeze. I want to sneeze, and so I created this concoction, puts it on his nose, and he goes, "Achoo!" And he turns to Wesley, he's like, "Did that work?" He's like, "Yes, Data, that worked. Fantastic."
Yeah. Or Wesley should have walked in. He's just like,
that was genius. But
it's the '80s after all. Come on.
But in simplicity, I love that Brent's acting was achoo, like the most blunt saying it. I love it. It's he knows it, but he can't do it. And I like seeing what's amazing about Brent's acting, Brent's spine of the act, is that he has this space that is the Data acting, and he can always jump in and out of that in a beat, and he can go perfectly back, at least in the takes where they got him to do it. You know what I mean? We can't say it every time, but like he's so perfect. So when he goes out of that, because you can see Brent a lot in this episode, especially in the sneeze scene of him pushing out of that thing, but then something snaps right back in, and that's that beautiful level of acting that I think Brent needs to get so much credit. Yeah.
Mike Matthew DeFritas says, "I think this sneeze discussion has gone on way too long." Kind of has.
Didn't mean it to, but
well, I love when Wesley comes in. He's like, "Do you have a cold?" And Data's like, "A cold what?"
Yeah.
It's a disease my mother said people used to get.
So no one's gonna get the reference, Wesley, you idiot.
So people don't get colds if they're not around medical attention, like on a colony or on a planet, stranded.
Beverly already said they cured the cold years ago, so no.
I know, but it's not a disease that people used to get. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
It's just that everything's so advanced. What's a headache?
Luckily, they stopped that a lot. That it is obnoxious. But this was the new future after the 60s version. Anyway, so I give him total credit for this beautiful sun eclipse scene, or this planet light scene. That's gorgeous. It's a weird random shot, but it's gorgeous. Give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. They're not home.
Tim Theo puts in $5.
Tim!
I think they can't sneeze just like humans can't change colors like a chameleon. It's a biological function. I mean,
he can have sex fully, and he can't sneeze.
I can imitate a sneeze. If I don't have to sneeze, I can pretend that I sneeze. I know it's because I'm a human and I've sneezed before in real life, so I know what it feels like. But I'm just saying, if you observe somebody do a sneeze or a yawn, you can imitate that pretty easily if you're an intelligent being.
He's a computer that can imitate. Yeah, that's Like I said, I think it's probably something in his program that stops him from just being just raw imitation. Because otherwise you could just imitate everyday life and it becomes habit, you know. Just remembered, Ian Warrender, $5 Canadian. For me, having Brent play 2 androids this early on in the show really helped solidify who Data was, not just for this episode, but the rest of the show. At some points early in the season, he's more like Lore than Data, and it's definitely split. This defined split really helped. Yes. Well said.
Yes. Yeah, they're at the planet. Class M readings, but no life readings. Not even vegetation.
Class M, but really brown and dead.
Yeah. And then there's the Tasha asks, so, is it true you hold the memories of 411 people? Not completely. Not their whole lives. Just, moments.
Yeah, basically
they've written down or things like that. So, Jeff Jacobs puts in $5.
Yo.
0%. What? Just in time. Just stopped in to say I love this episode. 8 out of 10 TNG and 9 out of 10 for season 1 TNG. Oof. Please hit like. Make me pay. # no Jeff today like Spike. Well, how are we gonna make you pay if there's no Jeff today? If you're just popping in to say hello and then you're leaving, what's up with that? First of all, that's okay. Everybody has lives. Real life comes first. But how are we gonna make you pay with likes if you're not here? Just saying.
And people are arguing about all animals can have sex, although I got to remind you that Soong had to built sex into him, so it's not.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. He's not an animal. Remember, everything's deliberate, so it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. I love how they're like, okay, pick an away team, and Riker just starts pointing at people on the bridge and point this one girl over to where Tash is, and do. Kind of in the background, you just see it behind. But yeah.
And Picard wants to go, and they have this nice little, because this is the little character moments you need. He's like, "Well, I would go, Data, but if I'd let you, sir, then I would have stuff to answer to." He's like, "Very good," and they all walk away. And Data's sufficiently nervous, and I love that when he walks in, Riker's like, "Do you want to park?" He's like, "No, thank you, sir," and no one bats an eyelid. I like that. Yeah. It's a nice little teeny, and it is parking orbit, which I was like, parking. That's funny. It's like parking.
Well, you know what a parking orbit is, right?
Standard orbit?
No, standard orbit is actually orbiting the planet. Parking orbit is a geocentric orbit where they stay above a certain area on the planet.
Ah, right.
So there's different. We got to do an episode on different orbits because there's actually a whole bunch of them.
I thought that was a thing like slow to. What do they say? What's not impulse? It's like sub warp. What do they call it? I thought it was like.
Sure.
Well, they have several terms they still use as relics of season 1 before they know that. I assume parking orbit was just a relic of. We don't know how to call standard orbit, but okay, that makes sense.
No. Parking orbit is where you park. You get in orbit until you hit the curb.
Sense.
And you stop.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But they beam down and completely lifeless world, no insects, not even any soil bacteria. And this is the whole was rich farmland 20 to 30 years ago. Well, that was discovered 26 years ago, lying out in the open.
And how TOS is this setup, by the way? Just how this looks and them on it. It's just, my goodness, it's TOS to a T.
Yeah.
Although they're really using
TOS.
They're really using the planet set, though. They're definitely getting their worth out of it. But yeah, this is very, very TOS, this bit.
And Jeff Jacobs throws in $3 and says, "Here's for 100. I want a refund if we don't."
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's funny.
But yeah, then they over there is where I was discovered, and they wander down this, really weird slab, and this is where we're found, just out in the open with no identity record, no instructions, no, just a layer of dust. He says.
It's a good line for sure, and this is a weird bit because it's like we've gone this not very good looking planet set to a really obviously man-made walkway into a very obviously man-made slab.
Yeah.
And it's not very good. Although, finally, guys, they brought Tasha as security on an away mission.
And Worf.
Oh, and Worf. But it's like, why isn't she on every away mission as the security officer? Like, she got to go on a different soundstage for once.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say the first thing he remembers, because Riker asks, the first thing he remembers is opening his eyes and seeing the Tripoli landing party leaning over him. They had followed a beacon to his location.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And
Geordie's
Dystopian Guy says it's called Sublight Trekyards. No, they call it something else in season 1. That's why I was calling it out.
Yeah.
I
can't remember.
Else. Yeah. But should be Sublight, but it wasn't.
And then Geordie's all excited. Hey, look at this. And he opens a secret door.
It's my second problem in this episode, that within less than a minute, he walks in and finds the secret entrance. I get that it's Geordie, but this can't scan more than a tricorder. It just understands it differently. And you would, you tell me that no planetary scans, if you found the first artificial being ever, you'd scan the area really intensely. So I don't, the way it's played is absolutely ridiculous. He's like, sir, I found it in 12, I know we have to get, it has to be quick to get to the real plot, but it's really not good. But oh well, It's just...
Yeah, and even here, just with line of dialogue and a little bit of acting would have made it believable. Like, he's got a tricorder. He's like looking at the Tripoli's original scans. Oh, look at that.
They missed something.
That anomaly that they detected. Looking with my visor, this is something like that.
Or like Data had looked at the scans when he was on the ship and said, "Geordie, would you mind looking over this bit? I have a theory."
Yeah.
See, that would have been great. It's just dumb the way this is played. But again, it's you know what I mean. You can't really improve it.
Progressing the plot. Yeah. There's a lot in this episode, really.
There is.
It's pretty action packed and well paced. So, Jarzia puts in $2 Canadian.
Oh, thank you.
It says, "I'm giving her all the likes I've got, Captain."
Well, again, guys, I think you should now click like. 65 likes, 112 people watching. Please do keep clicking like.
You should always multiply your like factor by a factor of 4.
Great comment by James Jamal Taylor. Sorry, Tricorder Tech would have been well behind his visor in 26 years.
I mean, tricorders have been a thing for a long time, since TOS. So.
I mean, so are you saying that? I mean, if that's the logic, then why isn't stuff that's in his visor in a tricorder? I mean, even if it's on par with tricorders of the time, are you saying 26 years? Only 26 years? Like, so tricorders been around for over, 100? You're saying 26 years they made that much difference? I mean, maybe Soong's secret passage was that advanced, and it took 20 years to beat the... But again, it doesn't... I don't
buy that, because they've been around since, Archer's time, And
you would assume that the ship's sensors were powerful enough. Tricorder isn't it's a mobile scanning platform. The ship can do more scanning, can't it? I mean, the tricorders aren't more advanced than ship scanners. So if they just scanned, you know what I mean, or they brought a scanning unit down, it's like this is why you go on a biobed. It has more detailed scan reads than tricorder, because you need a biobed. So there are more advanced scanners than, Sorry, just fun to talk to the chat.
But they wander into this complex. And turn on the lights.
He pushes the red button, doesn't even think about it, doesn't even wait. It's like, ooh, boop.
Well, it looks like standard Federation tech. Because you look at the doors, they look very similar to what we see in Star Trek 2 and stuff. So it's,
Still, secret passage, press the red button. It's a bit but again, plot. And also, I do like this corridor because it's just a blank bloody wall corridor. But the grating gives it the most wonderful texture.
Mm-hmm.
All the credit in the world for the simple ass but very clever set design. As they slowly walk through the same set, because it's only one little bit of set, and they find the lab. Oh, Stuart.
The blinky lights that go back and forth. What do these do? I don't know, but they're going back and forth. They must do something. That's a joke from Airplane 2.
Now, do you think that's the same exact Data stuff from Regular 1?
It is. It's used in every science fiction thing. You see people turning the knobs on the top and some, but anyway, it's a cool looking lab for sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Do you remember this Data?" Just vague impressions of some of my functions being tested here. Something familiar, but dangerous. When they look at the pictures on the wall. I love how Riker's like, "Proud parents? Look at the pictures."
Look at the
people running away in terror.
Just what we want to show.
And how what is like the colony being decimated by this thing, and kids are going, "Oh, where's my crayons? All right, I'm gonna draw." Oh, like it must have happened pretty quick. It's a colony, so you don't expect it to be too big.
Yep.
They even say hundreds of people later. That could fit.
460. Yeah.
Yeah, that could fit. Yeah. So when did the kids have a chance to draw these?
And then, why did Soong
Hang them up.
choose to? This is a guy called. They're all Josh, or at least two of them are Josh. So did he have a real son called Josh? Because, yeah, I think that the timeline doesn't make sense, and just you said that, and now it's made a lot of sense. It's just although to be fair, I think there is. I think this is part of the story, though, that they said hundreds of people can hide here. I think the point is that Crystalline Entity came around several times, and they
probably
kept... I think that's actually part of the narrative, and they kept them in there. And then when Law gave them up, he revealed how to get them, and therefore they died that final time. So I think it's meant to be that they came back to that planet often, and they had to always fertilize it. I think that's actually part of the story.
Laura would have had to be disassembled before the final attack because he was already assembled to some of the parts.
Exactly.
I just love how all the names on all these pictures are J. There's Jaem, James. There's John B. There's Josh M. And there's just Josh.
Yep.
So only children with the name beginning with the name J were lucky enough to survive.
or Soong had 4 J kids.
And Red Palace puts in $20.
Oh.
Where are my crayons? LOL.
We're all gonna
just
die.
Picture this thing.
Where are the crayons?
Just picture this thing taking down the middle of town, and the kid's like, "Yeah, crayons."
That's awesome. Thank you, dude. That's $20 is amazing. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you.
And some people comment on that though. Maybe it was Law before Soong deactivated him. No, doubt that. The pictures may have been Data's interpretation of kids' memories. No, Data was put out after. And you would think if he remembers being assembled, why would Soong delete the Crystalline Entity's memory? No, it doesn't quite. Yeah.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
But I know they go into more detail about they retroactively add to the story as we go on. But anyway, and did you notice that the cryotube thing? I think that is the same one. Isn't it the same one where they've got that old guy, who like gets young or loves Troy or something, and he's like in a tube. It's like hooked up in a tube. Isn't that a thing? Was that properly used?
Not yet. I think it might be reused.
I just mean I think I just recognise it as a weird like tube thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Dan23 says Data holds the memories of all 94 colonists from Omicron Theta. He was said earlier in the episode 411.
Yeah, 411.
Yeah. But that's okay. And then they start talking about Dr. Noonien Soong. You mean the Dr. Noonien Soong, Earth's foremost robotic scientist, who tried to make a positronic brain and failed and was laughed out of the industry, and so he traveled here under a different name. He tried to make Asimov's dream of a positronic brain come true and failed completely. So, but then he came here for round 2.
Now I completely forgot any of that. I also knew Soong was there, but I didn't know he had actually had to flee and stuff. Although it seems weird that Rai could be like the failed positronic brain. It's like, didn't you read Data's biography? He's got a positronic brain. Like, he doesn't put 2 and 2 together, even though it's in front of him. It's like, but it succeeded. Data's here, and he just said Soong's here. So
but the lines that come after that explain his mistake. Because I thought the same thing.
Oh. And
then they're like, they say that he failed miserably and then came here for a second chance or for a second attempt. He came under a false name and tried again.
I was thinking Riker's just talking in the perspective of the events he's saying in order.
Yes, I think so. It's a really odd way to do it, but I thought the same thing when I was watching it, and then the one line went, "Oh, okay," and I wrote it down. So.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we have not said he's got a positronic brain. That's not been said yet. Even you know what I mean. So the audience doesn't know that's what his brain is, so they wouldn't necessarily put 2 and 2 together yet. Anyway, to be fair.
Yes. Well, that's the problem with watching these, because it's not like we're watching Discovery first time around. We've got 6 more seasons stacked up behind this that we know
We
what
know
happens.
these people.
So yeah, we're looking at it a little bit differently than the first run. So
All the retcon exists in our first watch.
yeah. But then he sends off Worf and Tasha to go check out the installation. She reports back the installation was big enough for hundreds of people. Now it's just empty beds. And then they discover another. Oh, hold on. Eugene puts in 500 rubles. Thank you very much, Eugene.
Thank you.
You would hope his face would be some kind of hint. What is? Oh, the face of Data? Yeah, because they'd have pictures of Dr. Noonien soon, which when he was younger would have looked exactly like him. But yeah.
That's actually a great point. If you scan Data into the Federation records and it's like, oh my god, it looks like Dr. Soong. That's a coincidence. And since Dr. Soong looked like the other Soong, that's a coincidence. And then he also did positronics. Wow.
And it looks like this guy that did augmentation way back when. And, oh, wow.
It might be rated Soong. Holy hell.
And it looks like this actor from the 20th century, Brent Spiner. And...
who was in Night Court. Weird.
Yes. Oh, man.
And can I just say thank you guys. 137 people watching, which is great. And
yes.
73 likes. Please click likes. Please. But you know what I mean. Click like.
Yeah. But they find the molds, and I love how I always thought that looked creepy. Looks like some kind of sports mask of some sort. Like a...
This moment doesn't feel needed until he puts the face on, and it is that creepy because it works. It has some imagery. It just works. I think it dehumanizes him really well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's good little moment.
Yeah. Then they find the body parts for
Stunt head mold mannequin face.
Yeah, it's pretty piss poor. And I look at the details on it in high def.
I don't want to.
I know, like on the neck part, it's like you zoom in. We've seen props and stuff in person; they're not great. And in high def, this just really doesn't stand up as circuitry. It looks like marker that's not even lined up properly, and it's just awful. But anyway,
yeah, it doesn't. Well, I'll get that later. But yeah, it's I mean, nowadays you just 3D print, you just scan his face and 3D print it. It wouldn't be difficult. But I mean, I think that at this time, the audience would say, "Whoa, that's so similar." Yeah. Because the standard was so low, relatively speaking. But, none of the action figures ever look like the person because it's always hand molded and stuff. Now it's very different. So.
And I always hated the hair and the eyebrows on this thing. Like the eyebrows are, what were they thinking? But anyway. Yeah. And this Data says it's important for me to know if he can be assembled and come to life. So he wants them to take it back to the ship because Riker's like kind of against the idea at first. And then he's like, no, it's important to me, sir. And he's like, fine. If I found my dead brother hacked to pieces in a closet, I'd want to bring him up and see if I could sew him back together, too.
As long as it doesn't interfere with my wedding or honeymoon, you can take any Soong android up off a planet. Just don't ruin my honeymoon, okay?
Yes.
And he ruins that promise years later. God, Data, come on! Anyway, they have spent this only for a few hours at this planet, which I find quite funny. It's never like, we're doing a 2-week trip. It's like, oh, a few hours. I love that. It's popped in around the corner. They warp out. And then you see the Data mannequin, where they bought a mannequin and didn't do anything to it much. It's the most mannequin. But I love how serious the actors are. Scanning just a mannequin. It's the most basic bitch mannequin. I love it.
Yeah. And got it. Chief Engineer Argyle is back. Yay!
I had no memory of that. Although, if you look at the star date, this is quite a lot earlier. So I guess this is filmed around the same time as his other appearance. Hence why he's brought back twice in a row. Yeah. Yeah, but it's great to see him.
But with the way they aired it, though, it's like he's always been there. He's just kind of been doing other shit on the ship when stuff's been going down, I guess. So.
Guess he was busy doing the holodeck malfunctions of last week. Jeez.
No, he was sleeping for that one, remember? And when whatever Singh guy died, I can't remember his name, but the guy I liked. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they're examining his feet, and yeah, it's just such a bad the seam lines and everything. It's like, ugh. As a model maker, I see this mannequin, I'm like, ugh, trim the seam lines. Does Data have seam lines all over him? Like, really?
Look, to be fair though, A, in SD you wouldn't see the seam lines, and B, they save the money for the motion control clone shots, which are tremendous, or split shots, so they put the money where it needed to be. And obviously they need the redress set stuff. So yeah, it's crap, but it's not that long.
Yeah, no. And they have a good conversation with Chief Engineer Argyle and the doctor. He's like, if we need to like look at, how you're put together, can we do that?
Yeah,
it's fine. It's like such an uncomfortable topic for everybody, but
it's
Area 51 puts in $5.
Oh, thank you.
They find a head, torso, arms, legs, and oddly enough, a black goatee. Not ominous at all. Dun dun dun. Looks like a Chief Engineer Argyle put on the goatee though. He's like, I like that. I'm putting that on myself.
All is revealed one step at a time.
Yes.
One thing I liked about this scene, and it's kind of makes me sad for the future, how nice is Beverly to Data? She treats him like such an equal, a friend, a confidant. Cut to 21 episodes later. Data? Are you even alive, you little shit?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Pulaski. I mean, come on. This is...
I hate Pulaski.
Like there's chemistry and there's appreciation, and it's like, that really? You wrote... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry,
I just want to jump there.
No, that's fine. I totally agree with you. I never would have actually mentioned that, but
it's just she's really nice to him.
Yeah.
Like she's basically his mum in this episode. Like, and I didn't think of that until this moment, but he's basically the mum, and it's lovely, actually. Yeah.
And the next scene's in the conference room. They're having a discussion, and everybody's kind of awkward about, whatever. Yeah. And Captain Picard's like, shouldn't feel awkward. We shouldn't feel awkward that Data's a machine. We are just a different variety of machine, electrochemical in nature, blah, blah, blah. And Riker's like, yeah, it's a good one. Like, he's got that reaction, like, hey, it is a good speech.
Yeah. It's only Riker without the beard could do. That sort of big grin.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I got a kick out of that.
See, now you've said that, this scene is brilliant for a couple of reasons. It makes me laugh for one particular reason, but actually, the fact that, Picard is so genuine. Like, Patrick kind of almost believes what he's saying. That, we're just machines too. And they're like, oh, yeah. Even Joy's like, yes, sir, that's so right. It's like, okay, calm down, Geordie. But it's so adorable. I love the warp stars. They put the effort into the warp stars. That's good. And then they show the thing. Who cares? Whatever. Children's.
But, go ahead. No, you showed the children's. Okay.
But then after that, and then Data's been in this room for like 2 minutes. And then Beverly calls and says, we've got as far as we can go. Can we get back? And Data's like, Doctor, I just got here. It's been less than 2 minutes. It's like, yeah, we know, Data. Sorry.
It might have been a 15-minute walk and turbolift ride.
But
maybe
it just feels so silly. He just walks in for this much conversation and has to walk back out. It just makes me laugh. Yeah. It just makes me laugh.
And then there's also the conversation of why did were you made to look human looking?
Yeah.
Or why was I made to look human looking? And Jordy's like, it's probably because so you'd be easier to relate to. Like, you're one to talk. You talk to computers like they're people, you dumbass. Maybe not yet, but and also to prove that human-shaped robots need not be clumsy or limited. They're as good as us. Better in some ways, sir. Well, this was made in '87, and there's back then. I remember hearing talk of there's no way you could ever get a bipedal robot to walk like a human because it would just be impossible. Now we've got the ones that do it kind of, and it's getting better and better, obviously.
Yeah.
But it just seems like such an odd thing to say that far in the future, because by then you think they'd have perfectly, robots that look human, can walk. They're just not intelligent. They're not.
Yeah. They haven't cracked the thing of sentience or of digital sentience. But again, I like the limitations. I mean, Orville has a limitation of no transporting.
Yes.
That's why wouldn't they? But at the same time, limitations can create interesting story possibilities. So limitations are good. Some things can't be cracked.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. It's good. BSG haven't got energy shields. That's important. Really important. They still use bullets. I mean, yet they can travel through space. I mean, this is important stuff.
Yeah. And when he says better in some ways, sir, Picard kind of gives him a look, and it kind of goes back to the first episode, kind of at Farpoint, where Data and Riker are talking in the holodeck, and he's like, "I'm better in you in some ways," and Riker's kind of like, "Oh, well, you know, kind of like that's be something we should be watching out for. Like, you think you're better than us, you know."
Well, and it refers right back to when him and Tasha Yar, and she's like, "You fully functional?" He's like, "Fully, more than any human, bigger, faster, stronger, more." I think we had that joke last time as well, Stuart. So it links into all the different episodes. Oh, this is actually a really good scene, actually, and almost a well lit conference room. Almost.
Yeah. Almost. It's getting there.
It's getting there. It helps they only need to light like one side at a time. Don't have a big wide shot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he goes down and he's like, "Hey doctor, hey, check this out. There's shit on my back."
Touch my ass. No.
He's like, "Oh, there's like little raised protrusions. It's like an Android alarm clock." Is that funny? No? Oh, okay.
Can you
It basically
that
keeps.
Joke? 'Cause I don't get the joke.
Well, as he explains, protrusions, they're like little things that measure how long he's been unconscious for. So it lets him know how long he was out for. But yeah, I didn't really get it either.
So it's like you're never off, so there'd be none there, surely. Like you can't turn yourself on and off. I don't know. But I like he tells her though. You've never really got the sense they're good friends. But by the same token, they play very well that she's the mother figure in this episode enough to justify it instantly. So I like that direction a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I wish. Like I think this season and a lot of seasons of TNG and such, they don't necessarily plan that many episodes ahead of time because they've got so much turmoil and change directors and what they're doing that, you know, if they had known they were going to deal with this and them having some sort of chemistry, they should have had some scenes of them together. You know, but they obviously didn't know they were going to do this early on.
And TN23 says, "Would it really take 50 minutes to get somewhere on the Enterprise?" Yes. It's a big saucer, and if you're walking from one lab down the hall to a turbo lift, getting on a turbo lift, going up, having to walk in another direction, down another hall, up to the whatever, you know, 15 minutes, it's a casual stroll. You're not in a hurry. But yes, I could see it taking 15 minutes to get lots of places on it, that big Enterprise, even the smaller one, even the TOS one.
Well, yeah, I think if you're in a hurry, I mean, you could run in minutes, but that's not the point. I'm sure you could do like an emergency command where the turbo lift like bypasses safety and just goes through any tube. But I mean, you've got routes, you've got. I think, you know, if your work and your home quarters are both next to a turbo lift shaft, you could be, you know, a minute. But yeah, I mean, some places you got to walk an entire half a saucer. And honestly, would you like?
And you might choose to walk instead of going to the nearest turbo lift.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, you're still gonna the turbo lift could deliver you from where you are and go up and around into where you need to be.
People still need to stay fit. So what if the rule is, what if there's like a thing on Starfleet ships where if you're gonna go up and down turbo lift, if you're gonna go around the saucer, you just walk. Yeah.
I would. I mean, it's nice scenery. You know, see some people you can know.
It's the same scenery, and but it's the same scenery. But you can bump into people. Yeah, talk to people. You know. So that'd be
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99. Kane for 75 likes. We'll go again at 100. Thank you, Fleet Paw. Hope we get to 100. Otherwise, we got to refund Jeff his $3.
Oh wow, Dan23. Law was originally intended as a female android and was designed to be more of a love interest for Data. It was actually Brent that suggested the whole evil twin. That's
because he knew he could. He's got the acting chops to pull it off. So yeah. And
someone asked earlier, does it get double money? No, but you get paid per day on set. So if it took him more days to shoot, he would get more money for days. Plus the makeup. If you're in makeup, you get paid more because you've been in a chair. So he would get more on average for that episode because he did more work, but not for 2 parts. Although I think, even if you were playing 2 parts, as you tend to then have you as like makeup and not. So if you're like Klingon and a stunt person, you'd get paid for the stunt role because that's one job, and then you get paid as the actor with the makeup bonus. So that's why a lot of these actors like to be in makeup. It's kind of like I get an extra, £80 a day. That's good.
It's like danger pay.
Yeah, seriously.
For certain jobs, like a danger pay is
It's like
added onto
instant
your regular
overtime.
pay.
Instant
Yeah.
overtime for being
Or,
there 3 hours early.
shift premium. If you're on midnights, you get paid a little bit more
Yeah.
for the inconvenience of being on midnights. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she learns where his switches to turn them off.
Which
I'm
is
not going
weird
to
how
say.
it's very rarely ever used.
Well,
Could be a plot point other times.
yeah. It is used a few times though. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, they got him all hooked up. They're doing the microsurgery. It's like, look how this is like this. I'm like, you're pointing at nothing, Argyle, but that's okay.
What?
Yeah, he's like, look at how the microcircuitry here line. It's like, really, your fingers are what? What are you pointing at?
To be fair, the image is digitally different. It's a optical illusion. So I'm sure next to him it's bigger. So I'm not gonna.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, bit of surgery time, and then he walks in, and then this intro for Law was also on that CD I talked about, where they had a few good clips. So I know this bit burned into my memory. But this is an iconic moment of who was first, and he comes to life. And it's like, ooh.
But it's bad because as he's like, we're not sure if he's gonna. His eyes are like flickering and twitching. It's like just use a still of him, or like,
yeah, he's just
get his eyes not moving, because it's like,
that's good.
I don't know. It's just like, ugh.
Well, I was assuming that he was faking it. I mean, they say we haven't got any discernible reason to think he's functional yet.
Or his brain was booting up and his eyes are doing like the Terminator.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, he wakes up and says he was made first. And it's the whole. But they found he was imperfect. I was made to replace him. You may call me Lore.
This is a really good scene.
Yeah.
So what does the law mean? Like, is it robotic law? Like, what's that specifically reference to?
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the lore is like stories and things that came before. Yep. So Datalore, he came first, not before Data, because lore first.
Like, it's a great name, but it doesn't necessarily associate me with tech or with robots. Except maybe Asimov's Law, but that's LAW. So, if you know, I'm sure there's obviously a reason. Chat below. But it's never quite connected me. Like, B4 is the most... Like, you got B4, basic bitch blatant. Data, a bit of a fun one. And then Law's like, Law? Okay.
Jarcia puts in $5 Canadian.
Yeah.
Don't know why putting lore together was so hard. Looks like as complex as building a droid at Galaxy's Edge. Well, putting it together is not the problem. It's initiating all the pathways and making sure everything is, working properly. Considering he was a fully working model beforehand, which they didn't know about, it should have been relatively easy. So
that's good.
Lore's lower, not nice lore. What? Alternate line for lore. Come with me if you want to live. But yeah, then you see the facial twitch,
which is a bit heavy-handed, but they had to do something. So I give them credit. Something. Yeah. What else could you do? It would have been kind of fun to have like different contact lenses. That would have been kind of fun, but you need that. You need the data look. So what else can you do?
Yeah. Captain Ron Phillips puts in $2.
Thank you.
No wonder Laura's eye twitch. Everyone saw him naked.
You saw my... And since Data said he sensed what happened when he was being made, I'm sure Law felt people fondling his buttocks and his chest and his junk as they were assembling him. Because, the only way to screw Data's torso to his butt is to move the crank.
This is getting harder the more I'm trying to put it on.
Please, guys, super chat for that.
It's like it's bleeding. Have you ever seen the movie Alien where they bleed white? There's white stuff coming out of it. Did I kill it? I don't even know.
It's getting smaller now. We can just tie it to each other.
Brian Straight puts in $25. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Brian.
holy hell!
Always to look forward to an episode. Shut Up, Wesley. There's 2 of them in this one. It's great.
And I'll be honest, I forgot. So when the first one I giggled. The second one came, I was drinking, and I had to like not snort it out because I was like, "Oh my god, you got double." Thank you, Brian. 25 is really incredible. Thank you so much. That makes a lot of difference.
Lester says, just got on. Have you mentioned the contraction at the end of this episode? I will mention it when we get there, but I think it's just a hurriedly said line because I don't think it's actually a contraction. Because they ask him, "Are you fine, Data?" He says, "I'm fine," but I think he says, "I am fine," really quick. Because I listened to it a few times and it's just a poorly delivered line. They should have made it much more. It should have been a retake for sure.
I mean, to be fair, I'd never noticed that he did not contract. So that the amount of effort the actor had to go to never. I mean, I know he does a couple of times in the run. It's not always perfect, but considering the dialogue he has,
yeah,
I mean, he does a good job. So
I think that was put in there to be. Actually, it was probably deliberate that it was a rushed line like that because it could be. Is this actually lore still kind of in your mind?
Yes.
Because I remember thinking that after this episode, it's like, what if they actually just beam Data out into space and Lore's going to be with them for a few episodes and all of a sudden reveal himself, a la Vok. Tyler Vok.
Well, not just off the subject. Wouldn't it be fun if, again, if this is made now, there's no tonally thing that it was lore, but that would have been fun. Would have been great if, again, made now, it's actually lore. This is the season arc, and you see Data beamed out, and he grabs the hull, and he's slowly.
As it's moving, he's like.
Well, yeah, it's not more dignified than that, but that'd have been cool. Because I was thinking at the end, like, what the hell happened to lore? Get into that later.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing at the end.
But anyway, great scene, and then another.
Before another great scene though, Fleetboss Swiftback puts in $4.99 and says that deserves a super chat. It's getting harder as I screw it on. I'm screwing it. It's just getting harder. All right, well, never mind. Anyway,
I like Picard again here because he accidentally calls Law an it, which I think is justified, and he apologizes justifiably to Data, and it's a really lovely little. And again, Patrick is completely dedicated to this as an actor.
Yeah.
Like, he was not sure about TNG season 1 per se. He does commit 100%. Go and give him credit.
Before he does that, though, he says, "I'm very concerned about it calling you imperfect." And then Data goes on to explain what imperfect means in his definition. So it's not really evil per se. And then comes you're referring to him as it suggests that I too fit into a category of a thing. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, Data. I get it."
Because they're really, really consistent at making sure everyone feels that Data is a person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not even. It's not even a theme. Really, it's so certain that he is a person, he's a living entity, that we don't even address that except in the classic Veteran Man and some other little bits. For the most part, it's assumed, there's no doubt. So I appreciate this moment because it's just nice. Yeah. It's good.
And you get reassured that his loyalty is to you and Starfleet completely, not to my brother.
I thought that was a bit strange, though, given that surely you would feel some sense of, like... I mean, wouldn't you be a bit conflicted a little bit? You don't know he's evil yet. No,
because you don't have feelings. You're an android. He doesn't have feelings. He can't feel loyalty to his brother just because they're created by the same person. He took an oath to Starfleet, so that's an oath. That's something that his programming says this is something I need to follow. It's my captain. I need to follow his orders. That's just my brother.
You mentioned programming there. You mentioned programming. I mean, surely there's an oath to family built in. He would love Soong like a dad. He would love. Although they didn't know Soong was the creator until now. He would love. I feel like, although I guess since Lore came first and that went wrong, you wouldn't put into Data an innate sense.
That's why the emotion chip was made for when he was ready for it to feel those things.
Yeah, levels. I'm just bringing stuff up. Because I found that very odd that it was like instant. Like, of course I'm not gonna have any lore. Just like, well, you just found him. You seem to have some, but that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So then they're going out and they're talking about helm settings and how to set coordinates and so 360. And then Riker jumps in And the square of a hypotenuse of the right triangle is equal to the square of the other, well, or something that I had heard, but I had forgotten. It's like, really? What are you doing, Riker? Anyway, yeah. And then the whole conversation about Lore is better at pleasing humans. And Lore says something, my brother. And I love how it's Geordi's character, the black guy, that has to say, my brother. That has a nice ring to it, Data. It's like, really? Really?
I don't
It
find
bugs me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't find it at all realistic that he'd be allowed on the bridge at helm 35 minutes after being alive. It's like, if Wesley didn't have clearance when he was a kid, why would this guy that's been... Hey, if Wesley wasn't old enough at 17, how is Data, how is Laura okay enough at 1? You know, at 1.5 hours. Just this scene has a fun payoff with Riker, but I don't buy for a second he's allowed on the bridge. Like, someone to bring him up there. You know, Riker's like, hey, random new robot, let's go look at the bridge. 'Cause lols.
Well, they probably asked him, what do you want to do? I'd be interested in seeing the bridge where my brother works, or where Data's station is, what he does on the ship.
You just say no, though. Would you just say no? You wouldn't even hesitate to say no.
They wouldn't know.
Not great. Oh no.
I'm back.
Super chat for technical problems, yay! He's supposed to have the same specifications as Data and have some amount of intelligence, and Data's proven himself. Yeah, but he's not Data, that's the important thing. That's the important thing. I've lost the cap, so I'm just late off work. Hi, Knight's Arm. How are you? We can sort of see Stuart, but his internet is a bit rubbish. What's happening, Dark Lord? Oh, we're reviewing this episode. I'm going to call Stuart back. I thought that might be a good option. Bye, Stuart. Oh, no. It's not even got video. Wait, why am I? Oh, come on. This is going great.
I heard most what you're saying. You can carry on with the.
Okay, I'm still here, guys. So yeah, Data comes in. You have this whole thing. It's a really good scene. Bit weird though. My brother. Joy's like, I like my brother bit.
I could hear like your whole thing there.
Oh, I guessed.
You don't have to sing when I'm gone. You can continue the review.
I know, be coming back any second. I was trying to make a dramatic little scene.
Oh.
I'm just going to grab a glass of water because I'm feeling really thirsty all of a sudden. So I'm back in 1 second. Let me just jump onto the next scene so you can talk about, I guess, the famous one and both in the corridor. They talk about that scene. There you go. Back in a sec.
Yeah. Well, this is an odd scene to me because, yeah, him and Laura are walking down the corridor together, and Data says, Riker tricked you. To which Laura says, yeah, I didn't think he was that clever. I'll be more careful next time, which I think is a super, super, super odd thing to say and should really pique Data's interest for sure. Let's go to check something here. We got a PayPal. No thanks. And that's from Martin Diaz. who says, just got off work, always enjoying the lives. Well, thank you very much, Martin. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for the PayPal. But no. Anyway, so I don't know. It's something that should definitely raise red flags. The fact he said, yeah, I didn't think he was that smart. I'll try to be more careful next time. Like, why are you going to be more careful? Why are you going to keep deceiving people? It just seems like an odd... It definitely should have raised some red flags with Data. I know he continues the conversation and they go into Data's quarters, and then later he says, I'm going to have to report all this to the captain. Hope you're aware of that. But I don't know. Carry on, my wayward son. Yes, the commander is on top this time. That's what she said. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's a great scene. Them walking down the corridor side by side. Great effects. How's the weather, Cap? Says Captain Ron Phillips. It is hot. It was up to 4. It felt like 44 today. The actual temperature was like 30, 33, 35 degrees Celsius, but it felt like 44 with the humidex. So that's brutal. But yeah. So it's been really warm, and it's supposed to be severe thunderstorms tonight and this weekend. So, yeah, not looking forward to that. Although I love a good thunderstorm, gotta say. But yeah, I'll wait for him to get back. He's back, but I need to talk to him about this scene because I know he'll have some things to say about this. There's a similar scene in the second season with Double Picard, the original one and the one from the future. Yes, absolutely. They reuse this for sure.
Hello.
You're back. I want to talk about this scene with you.
It's good.
Important. It is, but he says, Riker tricked you. Oh, yes, I didn't think he was that clever. I'll have to be more careful in the future. Next time I lie to him, essentially. It should be like Data's like, well, Data doesn't really think... He does carry the conversation onto his quarters, and then at the end says, after a portal, this is the captain, you realize.
Yeah, but... I mean, Lore goes from being... I would have loved them to carry on the Is Lore Dumb longer. That would have been really fun. Even for him to come back in 3 more episodes and have a sequel, 6 months on the ship he's now revealing. That would have been cool. Although, as you can see Brent's face, good acting here. But I think the fact that this carries on directly into the next scene moments later, and in that same conversation Data's obviously absorbing the information and saying, I'm going to have to tell Captain Picard, like, there isn't a beat skipped after Data does his information gathering. So I agree, but at the same token, at its first convenience, he does deal with it.
It's just such an odd choice of line for Laura. Like, I'll try to be more careful in the future when I'm dealing with these smarter than I expected tricky humans.
I guess dumb when smart when I was expecting brother, because I'll be blatant.
And then the whole praising Wesley was a mistake. He's just as equally skilled as anyone else kind of thing.
It's like, no, he's not. No way.
Well, yeah. And then the whole try not to be jealous of my abilities, brother.
Yeah, and this is where, though, again, massive credit. It's a flawless split screen at a time when this is expensive, and this is not easy. Like, to act opposite yourself, good eye line, timing. I've done double people as well. I normally just either do a single act. I used to do a single action in the split and then close-ups, but they have entire sequences where they have to time it perfectly, and they're brilliant. And and you can see the acting difference is really, again, Brent steals the show in this episode, and he almost steals the Enterprise.
Yeah. And Dale Stafford, we were talking about the heat when you were gone. Dale Stafford says they always say wear a hat, but not everybody can pull one off. But I'll wear my sun hat. Ha.
Oh, captain,
right.
My captain.
Right. So yeah, then they go into his quarters and continue the conversation, and they talk about Dr. Soong, and he's good old off and wrong Soong. Don't get me wrong, he was a genius by human standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of, it's a weird conversation.
It's good though. It shows you that Lore is an unstable personality. You know, like
Yeah.
it's so distinctly different to Data.
Sabrina's here. Hi, Sabrina. Say hi to
Hey.
Sabrina, Samuel. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
Anyway, sorry. Uh,
But yeah, it's a really good scene, really good acting. Again, Brent
yeah.
does wonderful double Brent. I do like this fake double Data where the out of focus body double. He's so close, but his head's a bit too large, like wide. So close.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Good stuff.
But he asks him, like, what would it take for me to get a uniform like yours? Besides knocking you out and taking it, you know. 4 years at the academy, another 3 years as ensign, 10 to 12 on varied space duty in the lieutenant grades. So I love that it kind of lays out the path for the academy.
And that's also Data, who's extraordinary.
But that's when Lore jumps on and says, well, it's a system designed to compensate for limited human ability. We're better than that. We should be able to study everything like within a couple of minutes and be done and just be a goddamn captain.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's a good scene, and I love how human he is. But he's still himself. And this is where I had a thought, which I wrote a lot of notes this one, actually. A lot of notes.
Yeah, me too. It's a good conversation. Because he goes on to say, you're beginning to think like a human, brother. Imagine having not just memories of the colonists, but hundreds, thousands, memories of hundreds of millions of life forms of every kind. And it's like, Borg much? That's essentially Borg thinking.
That's
Can you imagine if Lore is the catalyst for the Borg at some point?
Can you imagine if Lore ever worked with the Borg? That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Can you imagine if they do that in a few seasons? Oh, too bad he dies in this episode.
Wait, who are the Borg? What?
Oh, what? Yeah, the Borg. What? It sounds Swedish.
Those insectoids, right?
The Hirogen. No, not the Hirogen. The Harada. Harada, last episode.
Yes. And I like, because what is the motivation for Lore? There is actually now one. He likes... He thinks he's better. He knows he's better, and if he can just put people's memories inside his own head, he can learn more. He can be more, and so he'll kill as many people as he needs to. And if he can get people's memories as well, as an interesting, he can only do everything, but he can't necessarily live everything, be everything, can't experience everything. So give me everyone's memories. So it's a different. I didn't catch that first time round, but it's interesting. Yeah. Although it would be kind of fun if it was like an addiction. Like, just one more memory, or one more memory. Yeah, that's all I need. Because it's kind of like he says it and it's never brought back ever.
Yeah.
There's lots of ideas in this episode. Half of them don't go anywhere, but that's because it's building a world. And this is where I thought that honestly, Lore, when broken down in this scene, my note is Lore is Khan. It says we're better, smarter, stronger.
Yeah.
I mean...
And he's got the ambition because it was built into him that Data doesn't have.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the thing. Superior ambition with superior abilities and superior intelligence equals Khan. Data is just... Lore is just Khan. Would you not agree? They're very paralleled.
Yes, absolutely.
I never caught, but that's actually kind of fun.
Tim Theo puts in $1. Thank you very much, Tim. And Fleetpaw Swiftback puts in $2.99. Made it to 100, doing it again at 125. # Lore like Spike.
Yes.
This is where he says, yes, I lied about you being made first, but with good reason. He made me so perfect in his first attempt. I lived with the colonists and they became envious of me.
Yeah.
I used their contractions. So they petitioned him to make a less perfect android. And then that's when Data's like, you realize everything you've just told me I have to report to the captain. But it's okay. I'm going to go do that. You use all this equipment to file your own report for the captain because he's going to want to know what's going on with you. But yeah, it's all good. Just sit down, use all, no limitations. Just read all of our database.
Yeah, that was done with him. Although I appreciate that even though this happened, it's not like Lore uses the information. He doesn't hack the Enterprise instantly. That could have been a good subplot. That would have been too much. Yeah.
His
plan is devilishly simple. Yeah, but Data is. I think it's fair to say, Data has a blind spot for lore.
Yeah, he trusts him a little too much for sure.
Yes, he doesn't. I think he doesn't understand that he could betray him.
Yeah, I gotta love the scene too, where he's standing back further. He's in front of the mirror, and they got the reflection of the mirror behind him, kind of like how the duality of he's talking to himself, like his Data, but at the same time, it's like the evil side of lore that Data can't see, even though it's blatantly obvious. Kind of weird imagery in this episode as far as that goes. This might be a little too deep. Might be looking into a little too much, but yeah.
I'll say this one is a well-directed episode.
Yes.
It's also well written, but it has a few little, like we said before, some weak bits, but they're very much... There's more story in this one, possibly, than any episode so far. Possibly? What do you think?
More what in this episode?
More story, like, crammed in, more things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's a quick resolution at the end. It's very much wrapped up really quick, which we're going to talk about when we get there. Matthew DeFreitas puts in $5. Data's lieutenant commander after all that time, and yet Kirk is a captain before he gets his bachelor's degree. # way to go, Kurtzman. Oh yes, J.J. Abrams.
So many problems.
I really have an issue with Data doing the full academy thing and just 26 years later being a lieutenant commander. It's like, does Starfleet really trust him? Are they just putting him through just to make sure? It's like,
well, to be fair,
really, he should have earned it a lot quicker.
Yeah, but if there's one promotion in every class, you're going to give it to the sort of real person. I'm assuming he'd be passed up for promotion often because,
That's just awful.
Yeah, but he's the first android in the universe. I mean, I'm sorry, but not everyone's gonna treat him the same.
He's the first android in the universe that's this advanced. I mean, there are lots of androids in TOS.
Exactly. So you wouldn't give it. So if there are less advanced ones, then you wouldn't give them the roles, would you? No, I think it's fine.
That's racist.
He's not a race.
It-ish. I don't know what I would call that. Thingish.
It's not even prejudice. It's just they don't know what he can do, can't do. I mean, it's he's a person, but it doesn't mean you make him captain after 2 weeks, like you said. I mean, let him earn his time, because.
Oh yeah, a couple years though. I mean, other humans that show exemplary whatever raised through the ranks a lot quicker. You think
Kirk
he would?
Didn't get there until 37, youngest captain. Data's only 26, and Kirk was exemplary. I mean, Data's be more. No, Plus, to be fair, Data could be very, very good at his job. I mean, some officers stay. I mean, remember we've had that joke about the old guy there's in one episode who's in science, who's like a lieutenant, and he's like looks like he's 80. So what? He never got further.
Probably joined the fleet a lot younger, or just never had the command ambition.
Well, exactly. So maybe Data doesn't want a command. Maybe he's happy just in the things he's doing. Because he wouldn't necessarily think of I want to be a higher rank, and they offer him, They offer him new things, or like he says, the average promotion age or time for officers is 10 years. Therefore, I'll do it at the average to make it fair. Like I think there's some there's other things that's not just whatever.
Yeah, and I got to make sure I got a screenshot of the piss poorly painted wooden doors. Which you can see the brush strokes. The future of Starfleet. Everybody complains about the TOS sets being cardboard and wood. Hey, it's a thing in TNG too, guys.
This is a brand new set, so because it's in this episode only, as in new in this episode.
Yeah, but I mean that looks like my old closet door that was painted. It just looks like shit. So anyway, then you get the whole. Thanks to Laura's report. We learned the Crystalline Entity.
You missed the Connie. There's a Connie cameo.
Oh, well, yeah. I was going through all the files. I made sure I got screen caps of all the cool stuff.
Connie cameo. Random ships. Excelsior at one point as well, didn't they?
Yep. And a refit.
Uh-huh.
And the Andrew Probert shuttle.
Or is there wrong Excelsior again? The wrong dimensions again?
Yep.
Weird.
Yep. But yeah, then we get the whole. Thanks to Laura's report, we learned that the crystalline entity that stripped the life from all the worlds, whatever. And they're looking at it on the bridge display, which looks really cool, actually. I do like that bridge display with the crystalline entity. And then the pan out for all of them, and then it's like, then Tash has got a line. Yay! Data, were you expecting Laura to be to come up to the bridge? Laura left your quarters. My turbo sensors say he went to deck 4. I realize she's talking about turbo lift, like turbo lift surveillance, whatever. But turbo sensors sounds stupid. Says he went to deck 4 and he examined some tools and compounds. And Data's like, oh, that's not surprising. That's just like you guys looking for a Band-Aid. And then they're like, are you spying on your brother, Data? That's not the act of a brother. No, Doctor. That's the act of a Starfleet officer obeying his captain. So, yeah. And then Data leaves to go check up on Lore. And then Tasha turns to Picard on the bridge and says, speaking strictly as security chief, because I never get any lines, how much can you trust Data now? And everybody's like, you got all these reaction shots from everybody. And Picard's like, hey, that's, I trust him completely. But everyone should understand that was a completely valid security question and not just a stupid woman question.
Excuse me? What?
That's the vibe you get from it, though. It's like, that was a legitimate security question, even though it was coming from a woman. If it would have been from Worf, it would have been fine.
To be fair, I didn't get that at all. Okay.
It was just such...
I got it completely as... I know we trust him completely, but it's her job is to make these questions, so don't be pissed at her for betraying our friend. I didn't get a talk, she's a woman. Okay. That's
the vibe I got.
See, this is good. I have vibes you don't get, you have vibes I don't get. That's good.
Yep.
It's good.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, and then champagne, and this is actually good because it's dumb, but it's good because they specifically say he goes out and gets like penicillin. It's basic stuff because he knows it can disable him. That's awesome. Like I never connected to that the first time round. It's a specific mineral, that specifically incapacitates the Data. That's so cool because the Data would know.
And Northwest Railfan says, not really related to this episode, but I was watching the episode The Neutral Zone, and it looked like there was a refit Enterprise model in one of the quarters, but the nacelles were backwards. They're not backwards, they're on sideways.
Yeah.
They're not on facing the right way, they're just put on sideways. And we've actually talked to, I think it was Rick Sternbach about that. We asked him that. And the person that put the model kit together didn't look at the instructions and didn't know what the refit looked like. So that's somebody that's probably now working on Discovery. But that's beside the point. But it looks almost like an experimental prototype or experimental concept model that you would get. So I have no problem with them being on sideways, but they're not on backwards.
It's one of those easy, shouldn't have happened, did happen, was a mistake. Yeah.
Moving along. Yeah, it's just in the background anyway. Nobody's going to notice it. Not like people are going to review this show and, pick it apart.
It's like a boom in the shot. It's just a mistake. Yeah. It's just a mistake.
But yeah, we should observe human customs,
Now this, though, seriously, you don't realize it. This is a miracle of shot. Because it starts close up, comes out. It's a long scene where they've eye lines. They've constantly good dialogue. He hands him a glass, seamless, keeps the scene going, changes focus between the two Datas seamlessly. Then he falls down, then it cuts. That would have been like 20, 30 takes to get properly, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's very well done.
It's really well done. Sorry, yeah.
And then he goes on to say, imagine the gratitude of the... I've learned to communicate with the Crystalline Entity and give lives of the colonists.
Wait, Stuart. You're saying Lore's the villain?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
but
okay.
Imagine it, the Crystalline Entity is the villain. He's obviously corrupted Laura's mind. Imagine its gratitude when I give it the life on this vessel, because it went from 400 colonists to 1,000 on the ship. Ooh.
Kill them all. Yes.
And then Worf's like, Data's using subspace channels. Well, he's been doing a lot of research about me and Soong and stuff. Blah blah blah. And then for some reason, Riker's like, Wesley, go look on Mr. Data discreetly. Why would we send a security officer that is trained to do such things? I mean, the stupidity of Riker and Captain Picard in this episode, especially the scenes coming up, just astounds me. It just blows my mind. Sure, Wesley's an annoying little shit, but when he's bringing up these grievances that he does, and they're just like, if you can't act like an acting ensign, I guess the job's not for you. Get the hell out of here.
It's like you trust him to be on your fucking bridge, Picard. Listen to him for 2 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. And I have an issue with that. Sure, he's an annoying shithead, and I get it. But
he's on your bridge for a reason.
Considering what's happening on your ship right now, and there's an android that you don't even know what it's capable of, and it looks exactly like your Lieutenant Commander Data. You think you might have a few more safety precautions and just listen to people.
It's when a story, they write themselves into a corner, and so they have to put on character blinders. They lose all of their sense of scene, of self. They just have the scene they've got to play because reasons.
Yeah.
And there's no logic. Because you wouldn't send Wesley, because as soon as Wesley walks in, Data would be like, Wesley,
oh yeah,
you're on duty. Why are you here? Did the captain say you to spy on me? No. Then why have you abandoned your post?
I love Tizangari, who says, send poor Wesley to observe the super strong android that can kill him within seconds without even trying. That's cold, Riker. And even the security guy at the security station is like, that stupid kid.
Oh, I think his face is trying to be fun rather than stupid, but yeah.
Oh, you trust him. That's so nice of you to send him. It's like, he's going to die. He's wearing a red stripe. He's got a red stripe.
Why wasn't Tasha there anyway?
Where's Tasha? I don't know.
But seriously, like, Data would know instantly, like, dude, you got 2 hours off your duty shift. You've obviously been sending to look after me. Like, send Troy, who's clearly not on duty. Like, send Tasha, who's like doing something else.
Where's Troy in this episode? She's not in it at all. And there's no explanation. It's not like, oh, we dropped her off at the beginning. Got to say that. Anyway.
Yeah, Wesley, I think, his relationship to Data works fine, but again, he's forced in. Because this bit especially, like, he's on duty. You can't do this. Yeah.
Tizangari, security guy. Whoa, dodged a bullet there. That's true. Hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, and then he walks in suspiciously enough. Laura's on the ground. Oh, Laura suddenly attacked me. I had to turn him off. Obviously, I reported it right away.
And don't worry about this twitch that I now have all of a sudden. I'm just emulating him.
Oh,
because that's what I would do. You know me, your friend Data. Yes, Data.
Yeah.
It's.
And then we go back to the. Yeah, then we go back. You shouldn't pretend to be him. He's not a good person. So he does the on the. So that Data has the twitch, and he fixes his own twitch.
And all it takes is to shine a light at your face. I mean, I'm assuming Soong put this twitch in on purpose to be a dick.
I think it's when they reconnected him and reassembled on the ship, they didn't do something right. That's why.
Oh. Because I was assuming that it was like an imperfection to keep him less perfect, and then Law was deactivated, so he never got it fixed. But you can fix it within 5 seconds and give it in 5 seconds. It seems very odd. Like it's such a thing, and yet it's such a not a thing. You know? It's weird.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate they set up he stole tools. Like, I appreciate at least they really took tools.
Yes. Yeah, so then then we're back on the bridge, and all of a sudden, Geordi thinks he's on the holodeck in a jet fighter simulation, because he's like, Captain, I'm picking up a bogey coming in at 5 o'clock tangent. What the hell, are we in World War II now? Like, I understand it's all legitimate military jargon. It's all something you would say to tell that there's an enemy or an unknown object coming in at a certain vector. But god damn it, the way it's delivered is like it's from Top Gun. It's so bad. Yeah, Captain, I'm picking up a bogey coming in at 5 o'clock on a 5 o'clock tangent. It's like, wow. Anyway. I can't believe anything is overtaking us this fast, because it's like rushing in. It's this crystalline entity. Dun, 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 dun.
Data's or Law's like, it's beautiful, and Wesley's like, you're obviously Law, aren't you? But with his eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not being. I mean, I like that Law can't be subtle. I genuinely like that. I think Brent Spiner's Law being Data being Law is excellent. Like, I love, because you know how, like, even when, okay, so in an episode of Star Trek, right, they beam onto a ship, and because you're connected to what you're watching, you think of it as this, oh, metal structure, oh, it's flowing through space, and you're seeing that. Really, they faded via transition onto another bit of their soundstage, which is also just on the soundstage. But our brain connects it, so we're seeing Law being Data, but really we're just seeing Brent acting both and neither. But the way that you're forced to connect everything means it's such a visceral performance. I think it's tremendous and cool and new subtlety.
Yeah. But anyway, the Crystalline Entity gets in front of them, and they stop, and it's commercial break. And when they come back, there's some random dude sitting at the helm, and that's because Geordi comes wandering in, and he's like, Picard says to him, did you get a good look at it? So again, he sent Geordi down to a window to look at the Crystalline Entity, because the view screen is not a window.
Yep.
I just want you guys to be aware of that.
It can only show so much information.
So anyway.
I love that still thing.
Yeah. It's like a giant snowflake crystal, only more complex. With electromagnetic blah blah blahs, and no idea what it is, sir. All right, well, thank you for absolutely nothing, Geordi. Go take the helm again.
I mean, to be fair, he is useless, but he might have been really useful. Don't know until you try. And I will say that crystalline effect is awesome.
Yes. Oh, the remastered one is great.
Cause I know this is actually visual effects CGI, so one of the earliest bits of CGI in the show. It's really good. Like, it's got such a unique flair to it. Like, just an art design. It's a really good art design.
This is where Wesley perks up and says, sir, don't let him roam the ship. It's okay, boy. You can come watch everything I do. Not if I can help it. And then Picard and Riker get really stupid. It's like, are you disobeying an order from a superior officer? Well, no, I just don't want to die from the killer android that's obviously a killer android that's not Data. Thank you.
Okay, now, yes and no. I think there's an interesting line here, though, that I only realized after the fact, is that it's a 50-50. It's Law or Data, in a sense. Data is being weird. Data's being weird because he's Law. But what if, in this scene, because you would assume in this one scene, Wesley would say, no, sir, this is Law. But he doesn't. In this scene, he doesn't say that. He actively avoids saying that. So what if he doesn't think that's Law? What if he thinks Data has now genuinely been convinced by Law to be on his side? So he does still think it's Data, but now like a corrupted Data, and therefore because we would just say, it's Law, sir. He doesn't, which is stupid. So either it's bad, well, it is bad writing, but it's either bad writing or he does think it's maybe just Data's doing his own thing because Law changed
loyalty
it.
to his brother. Yeah.
And that would explain why then they're being, the way he's acting, the way they're being pissy. It's like, in that one context, like, you are now being a bitch to Data. Well, calm down.
The fact that Lore just a minute ago said, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it's chasing them, I'd be like, Riker, I think we got a little bit of a problem. That's not. That's very undata-like. It's like. It's like
Plus,
in the one with the old man that you were talking about, where he's like
yeah,
grandpa.
seriously.
To know him is to love him, is to love him is to know him, and blah blah blah. It's like you guys didn't clue in sooner, but that's not fucking Data. Like seriously, come
Yeah.
on.
Well, and doubling down, what a coincidence! The thing that killed the colony appeared right after Law appeared. What a coincidence! Maybe Law has something to do with it. And
It
a
could be a
data
different
sync.
one.
So yeah, I mean,
Coincidence.
instantly, if I was them, I would put them both under arrest or close enough to,
Mhm.
or get them both in the conference room under guard.
Yeah,
It-
but I love how Riker steps in and goes, "No, it's my responsibility, sir.
I
You
failed.
go. I'm
Both-
going with you. I'm going with you to make sure you're not a little prissy asshole. Come on." It's like, it's just, oh my god. I get the chain of command. I get what's going on, but at the same time, it's like, are you fucking stupid?
Yep.
Because clearly you are. But no, Riker's going to go down with them. That's fine. Nothing shady can go on while Commander Riker's there.
Because Data and Law together can't beat up Riker.
Right? Yeah, if they're working together, that's even more dangerous.
Yeah.
And then this whole stupidity of, oh, he senses you. Look, I'm like, making him move around like a little. I cannot control him if you stay. Don't worry, I'll record everything he says. You can totally trust me, man. Totally. It's all good. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna leave the room then. All right. Fine. No, we trust you, man. It's cool. Bye.
And what makes the scene even stupider though is when he gets back on the bridge, Riker's like, and then he got violent. And it's like,
Yes, clearly.
no, he flailed. Massive difference, Riker. Yeah, I think you're right. The intelligence of all the characters go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I mean,
The intelligence of the characters beamed down to the planet and didn't come back. Is what happened.
thing is, the Law, like, the way he does things isn't necessarily stupid, but there's so many steps. Which you didn't need so many steps, you know, to get from A to B, and you have to keep allowing for the stupidity to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a dumb scene.
I love how Laura's like, he looks so evil here. The angle and the lighting looks like the
Yes.
Joker, for Christ's sakes. And he
Yeah.
like, kicks him in the head. It's like, yeah.
The stunt man.
Yeah. But anyway, Riker's filling in the captain on what happened. Yeah, he got violent and all that, and then Wesley pipes up again.
And Picard says
Shut up, Wesley. Well, actually, that's later. That doesn't
he
happen
does
quite
not
yet.
say anything because Crystalline Entity gets closer.
That's
attacks
right.
their shields. Double shield bubble,
Yes, yes.
which is quite cool. Never noticed that before.
Yeah. Those are what you call reinforced shields. But let me talk to it, says Data.
You can do that.
Yeah. Look, these people can hurt you. I'm going to beam over a large tree so that you can see how capable they are of hurting you. That sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah, that's our first plan. It's not like impulse back. Yeah, it's not a good plan. It's not well executed. It's not well thought out. And the fact that it doesn't sound like Data, because Data would not suggest that plan. He wouldn't.
It's entirely stupid.
He
Yeah.
just wouldn't.
Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Thank you.
Shut up, Wesley. Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Come on, guys. Trekyards,
And
super
then-
chats we need for Shut Up Wesley. Everyone super chat. Everyone who loves Wesley or hates Wesley should now super chat.
Yes.
Either now or when we get to Shut Up Wesley. That should be all of your presents to us. When we get
Yeah, so this is the brilliant plan. He's going to go down, use the cargo transporter to beam over a tree, and then they're going to blast it with the phasers to prove that they're dangerous. And Picard's like, it's a good plan. Make it so. Sir? Do it. It's like, again, are you fucking stupid? It's clearly not Data, or it's Data that's been reprogrammed or corrupted or is being controlled by the Crystalline Entity. There's so many possibilities, but it's not normal.
And Data
Eugene
is very, very consistent.
Yes.
You can trust old Data, you know?
You can. And Eugene puts in 750 ripples. Shut up, Wesley. See, there you go.
Shut up,
He started
Wesley.
something now. And then that's when after he says, go and do it. That's when Wesley pipes up again, and it's the shut up, Wesley. And then Beverly's like, shut up, Wesley.
And then she does it herself. And a short little side comment just for one of our fans. Raj says, did they explain how Law was controlling the Crystalline Entity and why did he have it attack their home and the Enterprise? So he wasn't controlling the entity, he had communication. He was being, he cracked the code. I'm sure it's the only life form ever to talk to it, so he just chatted and convinced it. Easy. Using it to do his things. And he wanted revenge on the colonists for being dicks to him. And so he offered them up as sacrifice, basically, to Christianity for a win-win. And without them being alive, he could then evolve or whatever on his own terms. Things went bad, fair enough, and now he's back. Because once the entity kills everyone on the crew, he'll have a Galaxy-class starship. Awesome. Yeah. Useful,
Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99. Shut up, Wesley. Brian Straight puts in $2. Says, shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
This is where Wesley's like, request permission to go back to my quarters, sir. Agreed. Doctor, you go with him. You're putting me off the bridge. I am telling you to go take care of your son. Great scene.
First of all, Beverly, you haven't got a place on the bridge. There's nothing for you to do here. Why are you fighting me on this, woman? Please, stop. As with anyone. Just sitting here because there's no reason. There isn't a reason. Yeah. But this would have been great if it was his son, and if that subtext was throughout the entire show, that he's really his son. Although, what a great thing for the Picard show! Like first episode, it's revealed that Wesley is at Will Wheaton walks in and is like, Picard, you're my father. He's like, oh no, Wesley, shut up. That's the first scene. It's like we never thought that was gonna happen. That's the entire point.
Yeah.
Make up for lost time. You see him play catch.
Well.
Anyway.
Then we got Worf and a security team, not Tasha. Worf going to whatever.
But you can't hit a girl.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Love how he steps on the turbo lift and there's like emergency close. And the doors just cut off the rest of the team. And then he just owns Worf. Which really should have killed Worf, considering how he hit him in the chest. Like he could have literally punched right through his chest.
Yeah. But to be fair though, Beverly, I'm sure, fixed him like Worf has got all of his ribs broken. He's in sick bay, but I'm sure after a couple of weeks he's fine, or days, or hours.
Well, they have a honeycomb shaped rib cage Klingon, so it's a lot tougher than ours. But still, Data Lore could literally kill him, no problem. Chooses not to.
But it wouldn't be, it'd be snapping his neck. It wouldn't be anything to do with there are quick ways to kill. But I like that, just like Khan, Data does not know who Klingons are. Why would he? I guess he could have studied the reports on the colony, but detailed Klingon reports. But it does say, show me your fierce warrior. It's like, yeah, he researched. But this is a really fun fight. It's both characters totally in character and doing just as much force as is needed for Data anyway, or for Lore. It's just a fun, simple moment, and Brent's expression is perfect. He's like, I gotta beat up Michael. Want to punch that guy for 4 weeks now of filming. Punch that guy.
Yeah. Then we're back in the quarters, and he's like, Mom, it's Data, and I've heard you know how to turn them on. It's such a great line.
Oh,
It's literally what he says. I've heard you know how to turn them on. That's just where I'm going to put that. Yeah.
I think this is the only... you realize it's the only reason that Picard sent her with him, or she was in on the bridge, so she could be here to turn his on switch on. So I don't
I love how you reword that.
Yeah. I don't feel like, though, that... But given, if you believe the sincerity of Picard and Riker's meh, I don't think he could convince her to do this, because she turned on potentially Lore with no security team. Lore could have got up, killed them both. The risk there is surely quite great. I don't know, you know what I mean? They risked everything in that moment. If that was Lore, yeah.
We got another PayPal, which I will look at here.
And it's doubly dumb because Wesley says, Data! And gives the entire situation. So if it was Lore would be like, oh yeah, I'm Data. Yeah, sure. It's like, first you ask, who are you? He's like, Data. Small thing, but whatever.
Martin Diaz sends $10.
Oh wow, thank you.
Laura must have been pumping weed into the air. Shut up, Wesley. By the way, I'm SWTX Chaser on the chat. So
hello.
Thank you, Martin.
Very, very kind.
Yeah, Data pops up and is like, "What the hell's going on?" Yeah, we got. I like the little flap thing. That was actually well done.
Yeah.
Anything on his skull is usually really well integrated. There's a few times you can see where it's raised a little bit or whatever, but usually they do a good job.
Because what I think they've done here is they actually put multiple pieces on his forehead so that it's raised up to the same level. So it's very clever actually. Simple, but it's very clever because it's really well done. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, a beautiful shot of the Crystalline Entity. That thing is gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, they really not. It's like the jellyfish are cool, but not great. This is cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Brent's acting, ladies and gentlemen, really fun.
Oh yeah, that's what I hate. What Wesley says to Data. Data, the crystalline thing is on the outside of the ship, and Laura's loose on the inside. What?
Didn't even catch that line. Gonna be honest.
Oh, it's awful. Laura's loose on the inside. Well, of course he is. What, he's running around the outside of the hull?
I think what they're trying to do is the writer was trying to add another shot of Wesley, and they wrote Data to say shot Wesley, but they realized we can't have Data say it because it's just against the programming. So I think they left in the first line, took the second line.
Yeah. Anyway, then Data's in the cargo transporter. He's like, "Crystalline Entity, I'm beaming something out. When the shields go down, you can..." And he gets interrupted. Because they all wander in for some reason. Like,
yeah,
why is Wesley? Why is Wesley? Beverly's got a phaser, so okay, fine. But they should have called security beforehand. Even time might have been an issue, but whatever. Anyway,
it's a daft scene that I think this is a very Discovery scene. You watch it, you don't think about it, it happens, you move on. Okay. What else can I say about this scene? One thing I noticed is...
Sorry, I'm back. There's just an issue with Cassie, so...
Oh, everything okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to pop out for a second?
No. We'll finish it up, then I'll go, but...
Okay. I was just saying, I think this is very much a Discovery scene where you watch it, you don't think about it, you get past it. There you go. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah. I love how Laura calls Wesley a troublesome little man-child.
Yeah.
Back off or I'll turn your little man into a torch. It's like, wow, this is like just a self-esteem destroying episode for poor Wesley Crusher. I promise him exquisite pain.
There's some good dialogues. Legitimate. It's a fun scene. But also Brent isn't going too far with Law. It's a really fine line. Like he's harnessed in his head what the character is, and he's using it. But yeah, the fact they get the phaser off, crush in 1 second. I mean, the whole scene plays out silly. And
Darth Joel puts in $6.99 Canadian. Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
The practical effects were done the way Pulaski practices medicine, with their head and their hearts in their hands. There's some replicator rations.
Oh, dear me. But yes, I look forward to eating those replica rations in Vegas. Pause on Indiegogo. So anyway, lots of dialogue. They let Crusher go because if Crusher didn't go, they couldn't bring back Picard. Is the only reason. Yeah,
I guess. Area 51 puts in $2. Oh, no, Yar knows how to turn them on, not Beverly. That's true. It's true. Anyway, we're saying about...
Sorry, wouldn't it be funny if while they're doing things, Tasha was groping his body and turned him off, and so they're doing something and just goes... That would ruin the moment for Tasha.
Yeah, just scratching his back and... You're heavy, get off of me! I don't know what I did! Please help me! Oh, God.
The imagery. That should be a fan film about that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love how he like turns it around though, gets the phaser from her.
It's not good.
And yeah, I'm gonna turn your little man into a torch.
No.
Oh, such great lines here. Great, and he's like, go, 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 go. And oh, by the way, fuck you. And I love how her arm explodes.
Yep. And then it's on fire.
Yeah. And Jeff Jacobs puts in $1.99 and says, "I knew you would make it." No, you didn't. You didn't have any faith in us. You wanted a refund, so.
Click like.
Oh, and Jarzia puts in $10 Canadian.
Oh wow. Thank you.
Laura scared the shit out of me in this episode as a kid, especially that turbolift fight with Worf. Yeah, and some of those shots, like I said, in some of those with the lighting, it looks like the Joker, man. His face looks evil.
Yeah.
Vance, 1982, puts in $5. Gates loved her props. Frakes mentioned it in the first Contact commentary. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. But this whole sequence is weird. I mean, it is. It's an odd one. I appreciate how quick the fight is, though, because how do you have Supermen fight? Although I love that when you go to the wide, they're both Brent stuntmen.
Yeah.
They don't but it's well done for what it is. And it's like, why is the room filled with barrels? Because you gotta throw them barrels.
Which are clearly empty because they bounce around, so... Whatever.
And then he flings him into the transporter room. He says, "Beam him now, Wesley," with a very poorly delivered line. He shoots. And then the computer deactivates his phaser beam, which is cool, beams out.
Yep.
And Laura is dealt with instantly. And
But where is he? Where was he beamed to? Didn't the shields have to go down from the beam? Wasn't the Crystalline Entity expecting the shields to go down? Wouldn't it attack the ship? Or did he beam them within the confines of the shield bubble? So he's floating just outside the ship, which he'd still be conscious because he's a goddamn android. He wouldn't be like gasping for air or anything. Where is he? What's he doing? And then they just, ha ha. This is a quick wrap up. It's the Crystalline Entity's like leaving.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you forgot to mention the captain comes into the room because that's safe.
Well, yeah. Watches the Crystalline Entity fly away. And then it's like, oh, I should have listened to you, boy. Ah, you're awesome. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Well, he never quite apologizes, which I like.
No, well, he's a captain. He shouldn't.
Yeah.
He really shouldn't. Not officially, anyway.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, we're overdue for our computer refit. Let's go. Where's Lore? Like, shouldn't you beam him aboard and deactivate him, or?
No. Come on, right, Will. Let's not dwell. But sir, no, it's an order.
He's gone. It's over. It's fine. Let's go. Look at the time. It's obviously been a full episode. Let's go.
Come on, we've got 12 seconds left to finish the episode. We have to end on a high. Quickly, sir, quickly. No, I think there's an obvious answer. In that the transporter automatically deactivates the shields, otherwise it couldn't transport. Like, I mean, it'd be weird if you had to ask Bridge to deactivate shields, because if you do it manually, it's going to be too slow. So it automatically does it. So he beams out just fine. And then Lore hadn't finished sending the signal to Crystalline Entity to kill the ship with the shields were down, so he didn't have the signal. And then the Crystalline Entity, I guess, picked Lore up. That's my assumption. That's all I can assume. He sort of energy tracked him in, and then took him to the next place. Because, I mean, the Crystalline Entity owes him at least one meal.
Well, I remember thinking, he's floating around in space. Somebody's going to beam him up or bump into him or something. And Robert Hayes says, so 011000100101 is next. I thought the same thing when they said computer upgrade.
Yeah, me too.
But again, because they shifted things, actually the next one is Angel 1, and then 1001001. So, yeah.
I'll get called to an important mission before that. I mean, But yeah,
Angel 1 is next. Oh, my God.
Stuart, they show you highs and lows. You got to live through the highs and live through the lows.
True enough.
But yeah, I think, like I said, Crystalline Entity must have taken him, owed him one, so at his next killing people destination, got there, dropped him off, and then he hopped on board a ship, the only ship that was there, and made his way. So I think Yeah, it is weird though to not be at all concerned. I mean, there's one. I mean, they've seen what one data can do for good.
Yeah.
They've seen how easily the second data can conquer the first data and whatever. So, give them a bit of credit as a threat. Any other things I had here? No. Yeah. Yeah. No, a lot of notes, a lot of thoughts, and we're going through the screen caps now again, Stuart. So, what is your final, longer thought review? And give us your score. And as we say, guys, wait for the score until I do my score, and then you can give us your score.
Like I said, fun episode. Love seeing characters play other versions of themselves. I think that's fantastic. Wesley in this episode, sure, he wasn't. I didn't find him annoying. He was actually doing what he was supposed to do.
Yes.
What any person with common sense would do. And it seems like everybody else, their IQ factor just dropped through the floor.
Yep.
So that bugs me a little bit, but it's at the very end. It's a little concentrated thing, and it's not enough to ruin the episode for me as a whole.
Can I help you there? Wesley's not annoying. The Wesley scenes are annoying.
Because of the Gene Roddenberry stroking his ego writing attempts.
I've always hated the writing where characters are smart. You introduce a different character to make them look smart when there's no innate bonus. You make other characters look dumb. It's like, no. Everyone's smart in different ways. You do clever dialogue. Look at Ghostbusters, the new one. You make the girls look smarter, making the guy extra dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you could just have the girls be smart and the guy be fine. I mean, look at the first Ghostbusters. The receptionist was really smart. So they're all smart and they're all funny. It's just bad writing for bad writing's sake. Yeah. And so your score then for season 1 and all of the seasons.
All right, so my score for TNG, TNG. It's gonna have to be a 7.5. Fun episode, really rewatchable.
Yes,
and that's one of the main things I like when I score things higher, that I'd rewatch it and I deliberately seek it out to put it in, especially if I want to follow all the lore stories. So yeah, 7.5 for that. For season 1, I'm gonna have to say it's definitely an 8, possibly an 8.5. But it's definitely one of the better ones from season 1 so far. So, and then again, like on first viewing, not knowing that lore comes back changes it a little bit, but because we know he comes back, it's worth watching either way, actually. But Area 51, yes, it might be a booze fest for Angel 1 because that's a goddamn awful episode.
Well, we could always do the next drunk Trekyards stream, like a drunk Trekyards light.
Yeah.
Bringing a few bevs would help the Super Chat live for sure. It should help the channel.
Well, 5% alcohol for me instead of 47% would be great. Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Thank you.
Oh, TNG 7 out of 10, season 8.5 out of 10. What are your scores, Commander, before everybody starts jumping on the score bandwagon?
Yeah, so I like the episode a lot. I think it suffers from too much. This would have been a perfect two-parter. They just didn't do two-parters. It suffered from too much in one go, considering how much the pacing is really strong, because they skip the start, they skip right through the start and they skip right through the end, but the middle is really cool. Like the pace slows down to a good crawl. So, but it doesn't feel bad. It's just it was a two-parter, needed to be two-parter. Either for different reasons. Definitely one of the best of season 1. Very few prom points. Some of the acting, like you said, the characters going dumb for no reason. Some of the music. I'm gonna give it a. I think you're pretty much on the nail of the head. I think 7.7 to 7.5 for TNG. Much better than average. Not the best, but again, so little editing would make it better. This is definitely an easy season 3. Episode quality, and I think TNG season 1. I was tempted to say 9, but there's still there's still a few problem. But I think we're not going to give anything a 10 for season 1. Although by definition you should give 1 a 10 by its own standards of in this season. I don't know what the best episode of the season is, So this has got to be right up there. So I feel like I've got to give it a 9, or like between 8.5 and 9, because how many are better than this? And I haven't got a 9 yet. So I'm gonna say 8, between 8 and 9. 8.5 is what you said. I'll join you there, but I could push up to a 9 depending on how the end of the season is. If we've watched the whole season and think this is clearly in the top 5, it should definitely be a 9 for this season. And then, guys, what do you think? Now let us know your scores, comments, and sort of final super chats are cool.
Eugene puts in 500 rubles and says 8 out of 10. Very memorable.
Yeah.
Please focus on the matte paintings in Angel 1 in the Angel 1 review. We'll keep an eye out for them for you.
Yes, sir.
Jarzia puts in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
And says 7 out of 10 for me. Bumped to 7.5 for Data's Kong fight.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's really good. I think it's also good because it's got good science fiction, good characters, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but also serious enough. You know?
Yeah.
Any other comments by fans of scores and such? What's the people saying overall?
A lot of 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 for Raj for, I guess, season 1. 8 out of 10 for all of Star Trek. Robert Hayes says Conspiracy, I would say, is a 10 by season 1 standards. I would probably agree somewhat with that. We'll have to wait and get there and see exactly what we feel. But
no, I think the pacing for that one's weird. I've watched that more recently than some. I think the pacing lets it down a bit.
Yeah.
But that's
Ozzy says a 10 for me. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
I was just.
We can jump on the bandwagon now. No bandwagons. We have buses for that now.
I'm excited. I think honestly, when we get that might be kind of fun when we get to the end of the season. I think we'll definitely do a drinking chill think about
discussion of the whole season.
Yeah, but it'd be great because like I said, you don't do any research. I'll come at you with the 24 episodes in order, and we can actually say this is the order we gave it, like combined scores. What's your favorite? What's my favorite? And then we can take top 5 and say, right, these are the top 5. What is actually, Stuart, you and me pick actually in top 5 order? What is our definitive? Now we know what we said are our top 5 episodes. What are our in that order? It'd be kind of fun. If we're made to pick what was our favorite season 1 episode, I think that'd be really fun.
Jesus. Okay, we'll give it a shot, I guess. Sure. But that's hard to do, man. Martin Devon says 6 and a 5. So
okay.
6 out of.
He is not
Trek
amused.
And a 5 out of
He's not
season
amused.
1.
Okay, guys, final super chat and we can end out. Thank you so much. This was a good one. We also had more than we thought because we thought might go less time. Although we had lots of notes.
I thought this one would go longer than 2 hours, personally, but
yeah. So final super chat. We can pop off. A good episode to come out tomorrow. A fan sponsored episode. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' reaction. It's a big ship.
Yeah, literally.
And I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy it. And you'll see us next week for more reviews. We're right on the brink of San Diego Comic-Con, so that'll be exciting. We'll probably do a breaking news live for that. There'll be Picard news, Lower Decks news, Discovery news. They've teased, I think Patrick Stewart's meant to be there as well for the Picard thing. There'll probably be some footage, so we might do several lives to break up. So that'll be a busy week, and it's just before Vegas, so it'll be a busy week, but really productive week, because that additional income will really help us be good. Because Vegas will really take up a lot of our time and money, and we can't do as many lives at Vegas, so that'll be really, really useful.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2.99. We'll pay on 125 on Faith. 125 likes. 134 of you here. We should get up to that, but there you go. There is the last super chat. Martin says, "Go and check the wifey." It's not Sylvia has an issue. Cassie has an issue with her boyfriend, and she's really, really upset. So she's outside with Sylvia. I want to go see what the hell's going on.
Okay.
But
then we'll
yeah,
let you go.
Not that I should be airing that to you guys, but anyway, sorry.
Well, people have relationship problems. Robots do, the androids do, and so do real people too. But they are real people. We can't call them it. So until next time, guys, I'm Connor Cockings.
I'm Captain Foley.
I'll see you next time.
Bye everybody.